Okay, haven't done one of these for a little while, I'm afraid. Trying to get back into the routine of things. After one problem after another, I had a pinch nerve in my neck, then I had COVID. Well, anyway, all back to being in good order, fighting fit, marching up a hill. It's the 22nd of February, and it's kind of a late afternoon, and we've had another bit of a cold spell come in, so lovely clear blue sky, little clouds. I can see some sunshine when I look down the Team Valley, which is a lovely view, but you kind of think, oh, I'm in the wrong place, I ought to be over there. So somebody's getting some nice sunshine on the lovely big stone farmhouse down there. I often share photos of the view from this little walk, so if you've seen some of my photos, you will have seen the kind of thing I'm looking at. So as I say, I'm a bit marching up a hill, so if you're new to these recordings and there's wind noise and things, that's why, because I'm outdoors and stumping up in fine style. Lottie's doing quite well. Lottie's our Labrador, and she's in advancing years, but she's trudging up the hill. It's quite perky today. Anyway, I was prompted to do a recording because partly because I want to get back into the routine of things, but also I just thought sometimes people are interested in how things go, you know, and what I do in the day in putting all these books together. And kind of thought, I don't know if everybody realises that days are kind of very different from each other, and some days are easier than others. So today feels like it's been quite a hard day. Not really sure why, just getting the words down there, deciding who says what when, can be a slow thing. Also today it feels harder because I sometimes blast down quite a rough, very, very rough draft of how I think something's going to play out. You know, it comes into my head and I think, right, I'll get that blasted down while it's fresh. And I don't bother much with the he said, she said, and the punctuation even, you know, just hit a new line and blast it down. And then when you come back to it, of course, you've got a lot of stuff to delete. Some things you can just tweak and rewrite. Other things, you've kind of changed your mind a bit. And in the dialogue, if one person says a certain thing, then what things that come after it are a reaction to that. So changing one bit of a line might mean that all the ones after it have to be changed or rewritten or deleted. So on the face of it, it looks like I haven't actually produced many new words, but that's because I've deleted a few, and well, quite a few hundred, I should think, and that comes off the word count that shows in the software that I use, which is called Scrivener. Yeah, leave that alone, Lottie. I just dropped something that looks like a paper tissue or something. Anyway, made it up the hill. Beautiful view across the valley. Very nice. See the sunshine. Well, my hands are freezing, so I'm not sure how much longer I can keep this in my hand when I record. So, yeah, other days the words can come thick and fast. It kind of also depends a bit on what you're doing as well. If you're writing an action scene, you know, if there's a chase or a fight or something, then that has a bit of a momentum that can carry you forward, and it's quite exciting to think about and to imagine and to do. And as a result, I think your fingers tend to fly over the keys. Whereas if what I've been working on today, it's important to the plot, but it's essentially some people talking, and there are revelations in there. I do need to get them in, and hopefully the things that will make the reader think, oh, hang on a minute, this is all new, you know, I didn't see that coming, but it's interesting. There's a fine line between the sort of surprising readers with new information late in the day, which is quite a bad thing to do in mysteries. You know, it can be if you handle it wrong. But if there are things that, you know, looking at it rationally in the light of day, that you might think, well, that's reasonable, that wouldn't have been shared earlier on, there are some things that people either are in denial about, perhaps, or in this case, that they wouldn't want widely known. So, people have reasons for keeping things to themselves. We don't all share every gory detail of our lives, do we? with people we don't know very well, for all kinds of reasons. And something like that, it's quite interesting to work in to the story. And it's shaping up. I mean, it's going to be a bit longer than I planned, I think, which means it's going to take me a bit. I seem to have been working on this book forever. I'm not quite sure when I started it, but it seems to have been a while. So, nothing much else to report in that vein of things. I'm trying to share lots of pictures as well, and I've been doing a few videos as well, so watch out for those. I've been doing a few reels, just little ones, which you'll see on Facebook, Instagram. Sometimes I'm remembering to upload them to Twitter. I have put a couple of things on TikTok, although, as I may have mentioned before, I'm not really 100% on board with TikTok. I have some reservations about it, about how sort of secure it is and what the ethics are behind the operation. So we'll see. And there's a lot of stuff on there that I can only really describe as nonsense. There's a lot of strange goings on, but I mean, there are some good things as well. There are quite a number of people who do what they call book talk, which is where they basically do little videos about books. Quite a few writers are on there, some of them doing interesting things, some of them doing silly things to get a bit of attention. I don't know. So I just put a couple of videos up around and about, so you might see them somewhere. It's quite fun. Come on, Noddy. But my journaling efforts seem to have ground a bit to a halt. So I'll have to see what I can do to kind of tie it all together. It's great if you can get into a routine with these things, but when you get out of it, it's quite hard to start again. It's just finding a time and a place to do the same thing kind of each day. But yeah, it's funny how it goes, writing. It really is quite a nebulous kind of process. People often talk about their process, what they do, the way they tackle things. And I think that's kind of, for some of us anyway, it's kind of a hard thing to describe. Some people are kind of planners. They plan things out and they have a set routine. I'm not really like that. I'm more of an intuitive person. If I try to force myself into that, sort of situation, it's a bit like the square peg round hole thing. It doesn't really work out. I prefer to sort of jump and then pull the parachute, as they say, building your parachute on the way down. It's kind of the way my mind works. I'm not sure why. It can be very quick and it can produce some good results. If I plan books out, I never seem to stick to them anyway, so it becomes a bit of a waste of time. But I do sort of planning pieces in mid-flight, so what I will do, I will see something and I'll think, okay, that needs foreshadowing. I can't just drop that in. I've got to hint at that earlier on. So I'll immediately go back and put a few lines in earlier on in the book, and that will then make sense and tie together. I go backwards and forwards checking things as I go on. I have to know who's done what and check things are happening on the right days. So a lot of that goes on as I move forward. Okay, if people do have questions about this kind of thing, it's really good if people want to drop me a line, contact me perhaps on my website at michaelcampling.com. Let me know if there's something you'd like me to talk about. It's good to have questions to answer. It does me a favour. In the meantime, I'll set off back down the hill. Lottie stopped at the top for some reason. Come on. Good girl. Don't quite know what she's expecting. Good girl. Come on. Easy going down, isn't it, Lottie? Trotting down like a good one. Anyway, I'll sign off now, I think, and just say thank you very much for listening to this rambling thing. Huge thank you to people who've supported me with a mug of tea or 2 or 3 or more over on coffee.com. There's more details about that on my site at michaelcampling.com. If you haven't joined the site yet, it's pretty free and quick to do. Well, it's totally free and it will always be free. You just sort of sign up with an email address. You get a confirmation email that you need to click on, just so I'm not spamming anybody. I like to know that email addresses are real. You don't get any newsletters or anything. It just allows you to sign into the site and leave comments and see all the pictures. What I normally do, I share photos. I do a couple of them, or one of them might be there for the public to see, and to see the rest you sign in, so that we can have a safe space to share things together and for people to make comments without feeling that they're sort of open to the public scrutiny. They're only for members. And it just keeps everything all above board. And it's our space. It doesn't belong to Facebook or anything. It's ours. Lottie marching through the dead leaves, if you're wondering what that sound is. Got a scent of something. So yeah, huge thank you to those supporters and to those people who've joined as well on the site. It's really nice to have people signing up. There are over 500 members, which is nice. And if you have signed up and you didn't get your confirmation email, please check your junk folders and so on, because it will be there. It's automated. It goes out unless your inbox is full or drops into your junk email folder or spam folder or something. It should be there. And it's all fairly straightforward. Okay, right, my hand is really frozen now, so I will put this away and put my glove back on. And hope there was something of interest in all that, and happy reading. Look after yourselves and take care. And until next time, bye.